Um, so I haven't been on much lately, and that's because I've been disconnected from some games due to circumstances that were far beyond my control, but within my parents' control. Um, so I won't be on much, but yeah. Like, I'll still upload videos to this channel, but it'll be more like one video a week instead of one video a day. So this is my first video that concerns a nr55 game, so I guess I should quickly talk about nr55 or Nocco and my opinions on it. Like, it's looked down upon by a lot of Treaty 40 on these players. Um, for two reasons. It's nourished 55 minutes instead of 40 minutes. Like, 40 minutes is more than enough time, so why would you want to make it 15 minutes longer? And also because of the map, which isn't very interesting. It's just fighting in the same place for the entire game. And so to address the first point, like, it could and should be reduced to something more sane, like Nourish 45. I guess the reasoning behind making it Nourish 55 is that a longer boom equals more resources equals a longer and more epic game. But again, I don't really agree with that. 40 minutes is more than enough time, and it should really be reduced to Nourish 45 for that reason. Because, like, yeah. And the second point, even though the map itself isn't very interesting, it's just crossings, you're fighting at the same place the entire game. It like sacrifices interestingness, but what we get in place is balance. Like, this map is, with the exception of these native posts, which may give an unfair advantage to one team, but that's no big deal. But other than that, the map is like completely balanced. Like, your native will never be in a place where it can be mortared at 40 by a well-placed port mortar. And yeah, usually people have a lot of space FB, and it's an extremely balanced map, probably the most balanced map for treaty out there. That's why people play on it, even though it's not very interesting. And with that said, let's look at the star dummies. Basically, I made like 7 siege. God, 7 siege elephants. Yeah, we want to make a lot of siege elephants because in Nurse 55, like, everything's walled up. Usually everyone has 7 towers out before 40, and usually people make a ton of artillery, so a huge mass of siege elephants makes sense for the start. I mean, with 32 of these pet units and the 15 gendarmes, you definitely have more than enough units to cover it, and that's also why I didn't make any anti-cav. Like, 10 hussars, the 10 hussars he has there are going to lose to my 15 gendarmes, so I wasn't too concerned about any cavalry. So he made a pretty much standard army, some coals, some organs, mortars. Except instead of like making castles or something, he made like 9 hussars, which I don't like, because look how defensive his base is, and I don't even like his base because of how far back it is. These units have to walk all the way from here to the fight, which will probably be here. So, yeah, I don't like it. Like, he could just delete. He should have just like not walled so much and compacted these towers a bit more so that he could build more forward and then his units don't have to walk so far. So here we had Otto versus Spain, and this is a very tight cliff which favors Otto, but Spain should still win. Spain player going artillery, which is smart in a choke like this, because melee units aren't guaranteed to work as well as they would in open space. And purple did 13 towers before 40, which is smart if he's planning to like go completely on the defensive, and versus Spain, Otto should be completely on the defensive for most of the game, so the 13 towers are smart here. And for the most part, our bases were good, and Super Napoleon's, like his teammates, is a bit too far back, although looks a bit better than Basiliki's base. And without further ado, let's start this game. It's not that long, like, if I recall correctly, the game was 90 minutes long in total, so I won't be sitting here for like 2 hours. Which is good, because it's like 2 AM right now. So I hit the wall first, because he's keeping his artillery back, so yeah, there's no threat to my siege elephants, because he's keeping his corps back. I hit that wall next. And I should be moving back, because his corps are hitting my siege elephants here. And now I should be now I'm targeting the corps, because he's hitting my corps now. Let's look at this. And Spain is like getting a push in the start. I mean, he should delete these Minutemen if he's a... Yeah, he should just delete those Minutemen and replace them with real units. Minutemen are only good for overpop. Like, skirmishers would do much more damage. And India is really weak, and the thing that hurts them most on this map, weaker on this map than on Andes, and the thing that hurts them the most is like slower elephant training times. So, which makes it really hard to keep up Mahout pressure, and really hard to keep out enough Howdahs to deal with Hussars. Like, these Howdahs have been in queue forever, and meanwhile my skirms have been getting owned by Hussars, although of course Tigers help a lot. Should hit that mortar. Yeah, which I'm doing right now. Let's see. He's keeping these rods back. He shouldn't really be making that many rods in the first place, because he does have Zapotec's and a lot of wood so that he can spam natives, so I don't see any reason to be making 16 rods. It should still not be more than 10 for the most part. And his skirm mass looks really weak right now, and yeah, he needs to make corps to deal with this horse artillery, because this horse artillery is just pounding away at his skirmisher mass. He stopped making Lancers because his opponent has like 50 Jans. And here I'm just going for a Gurkha mass and running back and running forward with Siege Elephants. Which Siege Elephants can do very well because they don't have to go into fire mode, in or out of fire mode. But of course, that strength is more than compensated by the fact that their range sucks, and they die really fast to skirmishers, making them an overall bad unit. So, purple is going Jan Horse Artillery, which is on Andes, most Ottoman players will try to go for like an Abyss mass. Jan Janissaries and Horse Artillery can work too. Green just needs to make corps. Don't really like the goons. The goons can be okay, but you shouldn't really be making more than 5 as Spain, if any at all. Again, the natives should be most of the anti-cav, and then of course you have lancers to tank. So you shouldn't really need that many goons at all. Basiliki reviving his explorers. But has he not sent them yet? He hasn't sent them yet. Like, especially against India, like if you're in a game where explorers are allowed as ports, you should send them like before the treaty ends, because that's how influential they are. Because 3 explorers together tank like 9,000 damage. Sid calculated it once. It's like the equivalent of like some insane number of Iroquois mantlets. It's like 12 mantlets or something. Mixing a few Abyss guns, I suppose, to deal with the goons. Oh, that's funny. He could just shoot his missionaries. He should get the missionaries back. Melee units are working, so Spain should be keeping some sort of melee pressure, even though it's a choke. Like, natives and Lancers, like, you wouldn't make as many Lancers as usual in a choke, but you should still keep Lancer pressure at all times, pretty much. You see Green finally making calls, which is good because the horse artillery has been giving him problems. And again, his skirm mass looks really weak. Like, especially in a choke, you should have like 30 to 40 skirms at all times as Spain. The reason why is because skirms with their high damage will like obliterate anti-cav, which like lets Lancers do even more damage. See Basilica retowering. Towers are very good against India because of siege elephants. Keeping hussar pressure. If you're hussering your opponent's units, you should move your infantry forward so they're actually shooting. Like, this infantry's not shooting, these aren't shooting. Yeah. And now these hussars are just dying. Like, when I have the war elephants on his units and he moves back, I move my Gurkha forward so they're actually killing his units. I think he should be abusing the range of Kov here and not just standing there. Like the range that Culverins have over siege elephants. And his skirm mass looks a lot better. I'd like to see him keeping more natives and Lancers out. And if you want to be careful with Corvs against Abyss guns, keep them behind your army. 30 Mayans, I'm not sure what they'll do, if they'll do much in this position. I mean, I think it would honestly be best to just send the 30 Mayans onto this side and like try to like flank my army or siege down this wall and maybe even get a native if he's lucky. At least that's how I would use the Mayans in that position, because it's not going to do much in a choke against Abyss guns and horse artillery. Like, see, they're already dead. Pretty much. Or at least 2/3 of them are. And these Cougar things, you should always keep maxed on them just because they're overpop. They come with the Tupi native. They cost like 100 food. So they're pretty expensive, especially for subs like India, but I think it's their worth to make just because they're overpop. I'm playing with like 90 vills. India kind of has to do this on Orinoco. Play with less than they have to cut some vills in order to keep up military-wise because all their units train so slow. And this can make food a problem though. He's getting overrun by hussars. Where is Zapotex? Like, Spain should not be getting overrun with melee units. If you're getting overrun by melee units as Spain, you're doing something wrong. What he's doing wrong is, like, not keeping natives out. I guess. Or maybe he's just having problems keeping max pop in general, because I see him queuing 15 goons at once, means he was down to 17 pop. And queuing 15 goons at once is Spain also means you're doing something wrong. Spain should never have more than 5 goons out on Orinoco, if at all. And on Andes, Spain should never ever make goons because the Humancas are so good that Humancas with a few rods can pretty much will pretty much be your entire anti-cav, all the anti-cav you need. Pretty sure that on Orinoco it's definitely worth it to have both of these cards in your deck, and it's not viable not to have those cards. Because on Orinoco you can trade for much more coin, and it's to the point where like coin is almost never an issue. And if you're getting pushed in as Spain, you're probably also doing something wrong, unless you're against like a German player who deletes all his vills. And I finally see the natives out and Lancers out, and purple is forward towering, which is good against Spain, I guess. And good is in general for auto. Like if your opponent isn't mortaring you, then there's pretty much no reason not to. Green skirm mass still looks a little weak. Should be at least 30 skirms at all times, like I said. This Lancer spam though will do well here, cause purple got caught without like hussars or natives. And Lancers do alright against Jans. Jans are already a bit weak against Cav, and Lancers have that bonus against all infantry. It's one of the reasons that Spain should destroy auto. Yeah. I should probably be FBing here, but maybe I can't because of port mortars, but he doesn't have any mortars out, so I should definitely be FBing up here. Using Tigers to flank artillery. Again, Tigers do decent damage against artillery, so it's always good. This should be back behind my army. Yeah, Explorer should be behind your army, producing Tigers as India. It's really hard for India to push on this map because of their training times again. Probably have to delete a lot of vills to push. Now green has a better composition, I guess, so now he's pushing in. The missionary positioning, though. You should try to keep your missionaries in one group behind your army, and I don't need to tell you why having missionaries in front of your army is bad, because, yeah, missionaries give your units attack, and just he could use more skirms here, I think. How many rods is he making? I guess that's fine. 12 rods. Versus a Huss heavy player on Orinoco. It's fine. But he should definitely be FBing here. So his units don't have to walk as far. Purple doesn't even have any mortars, so yeah. It's funny. 5 siege elephants against like 6 coals. This is a classic noob mistake. All his goons are on the left side and all his skirms are on the right. Now he's gonna lose like all of them to this one Mahout. Like, yeah. The organ guns are good. Should always mix organs against India. And organ guns die in 2 shots to siege elephants, but if you're like careful with the organ guns, you can usually get cost-effective trades because of how much damage like every other unit does to siege elephants. AC in the Falx is also good. Does he have 3 explorers yet? Facility, that is. Yeah, but he doesn't have Blood Brothers or 32p. He should have that. Oh, I know. Again, he's getting pushed into Spain. Not too sure what's going on here. I guess it's him not keeping max pop well enough and not keeping out native Lancer pressure well enough. He needs cold. Okay, here's a Corvin Q. And I don't need to tell you why that horse artillery positioning is bad. It'd be bad against any civ, but especially auto. Because the Abyss gun's doing damage to artillery. Explorer should be more in the center and more shoved into my army. Crackshotting Howdahs, making my life miserable. Let's see. Yeah. This should be micro to scums. All these scums on a ball. If he micro this horse artillery, he would get some really awesome shots because of how all this infantry is in the ball. He just lost a missionary to mortar splash damage. That's hilarious. Auto training speed also makes it difficult for them to push. You should just back off these hussars. They're like 20 rods. They're just gonna die for nothing here. Should back off and wait for more chance for Abyss. Oh, it doesn't matter though. If you have a 600 point advantage, you can pretty much make cost-effective trades. I mean, cost-ineffective trades and still win. I always melee the muskets, like almost always. Every time I send that shipment, I melee the muskets because they're good units in an Imperial fight, so I just want them to die as soon as possible. Like 360 HP. What the fuck? That's not that bad. 360 HP. Huh. Because port muskets have like 375 HP. Yeah, I'll have to look at the attack then. He's getting caught without anti-cav. Hussars can be good to meat shield mahouts, especially if your opponent is not going sepoy. I don't like going sepoy as India because it's very, very, very taxing on food. Like, to make cost-effective, and because also to make cost-effective trades, if you're making sepoy as your main unit and your opponent is making a lot of scums, you need to make a lot of mahouts to make it cost-effective, and it just is so insanely food-heavy. 337 HP. Oh, they had 360 HP because they were under inspiration. That's probably why. So yeah, they have 337 HP and 20. And who knows how much ranged attack. 29 melee attack. Okay, the point is they're not as good as Imperial units. What Spamming into towers usually isn't a good idea. You should usually back off, wait for mortars, and then try to push. And he does have mortars. He needs to like, keep them firing though. The 6 Grenadier shipment. The infinite 6 Grenadier shipment. Okay, they're 49 ranged attack. Still not as good as like most other muskets. I don't really like 6 Grenadier because Grenadiers are kind of useless for auto. Abyss guns pretty much do what Grenadiers do better. Grenadiers have splash damage and speed, but still the overall damage output of Abyss guns is still greater. Or splash damage and siege is what Grenadiers have over Abyss guns. And if you want a siege, you should just use petards or mortars. He builds a barracks up here. Like, why not run here if there's like, this is just a very tiny choke, whereas there's a ton of space here. Again, he's getting overrun. I guess he is having problems keeping max pop. And it's also because he probably keeps forgetting to re-FB up here. And yeah, not keeping enough melee pressure. But yeah, that's why I said earlier Super Napoleon should have used his Maya shipments on this side. Because there's like so much space here, but it's all cramped here. So like, why not try to make some plays on this side? Yeah, again, he's getting overrun by Mahoots because all his handicap is on the wrong side. The Grenadiers. Grenadiers are really The Grenadiers are really tanky, I guess. No, I'm still not sure. I mean, maybe they are good. Like, maybe the shipment is good. Like, they're free units. And normally Grenadiers aren't good. Like, normally you would never train a Grenadier, but like with 3 upgrade codes and the Royal Guard upgrade, maybe they're actually good with auto. I haven't experimented with it enough. I have to experiment with it more. See my food slowly dwindling even though I'm at 90 vils. And I'm going Gurkha, I'm not going Seaboy. Yeah, that's why I don't like going Seaboys in the this must be frustrating. Like, purple can't push because then he like because his slow trading times means that it's hard for him to keep pop out, and then his army just gets beaten. But green can't push because of like his own mistakes. Although if this back and forth were to continue, green would slowly drain, and purple would win by a sizable difference. I guess I made those Seaboys to FB. I think that's the only reason I would make sepoys in that position. Or no, maybe I like wanted to try going sepoys just to like. Yeah, I think I actually wanted to try going sepoy. Maybe the hustlings were giving me trouble. But yeah, I think. But for whatever reason, I wanted to go sepoy, and then you'll see the effect that going sepoy has on your food very soon. Like already, my food has dropped by like 5k just by making these few dozen sepoys. But they're very strong musketeers, though. But they're just such a huge drain on your food. Oh, that's just perfect. All the tupies in the ball under attack by Mahoots. They're gonna drop like flies. Because Mahoots have area attack, so units in the ball is like perfect for them. Should melee the sepoys against Tussers. Oh, okay, this is a funny bug with Orinoco. If the game is recorded, then you can build on the crossings. If the game is not recorded, you cannot build on the crossing. Yeah. I think I prefer the version which you can't build on the crossing, because if we like took full advantage of being able to build on the crossing, then it would pretty much be GP nr 60, where like everyone walls in each other's faces, and then it becomes like an even more closed fight than it already is. If that makes any sense, I don't know. And purple is trying to compensating for the lack of space with very aggressive towers and very aggressive stables. He's compensating for the lack of space and the lack of training time, and he's actually getting a push going. Where are Green's natives? Like, I almost never see him with Zapotex out. Is he out of wood? No, he has plenty of wood. It's weird. Yeah, and I'm already at 14k food. The Sepoy Mahout is a pretty strong composition, but it's a very, very big drain on your food. Sepoy's in melee against Tussers and Cubes, I like it. Why is he massing so many Corvs? There's no need to mass that many Corvs against India, like, ever. Like, if your opponent is making enough siege elephants that you can't kill it with, like, 3 or 4 Corvs, he's probably... the rest of his army is probably weak, and then you can just snipe siege elephants with skirms or something, or hustling them. Because I think you need, like... yeah. But either way, there's no need to make like 6 or 7 Corvs against India. Looks like Super Napoleon again pushed it back because of the matchup. And this idle horse artillery. It 1 HP. Wow. Though again, if this back and forth continued, yellow would probably win, but I guess he decided to close. He was bored and tried to close the game out earlier. So the first building he goes for is an artillery foundry. I expect he'll queue pitos or something. He'll just leave it there and use it as a distraction and nothing else. Because he did distract a lot of population with this one artillery foundry from both Basilici and Green. He's gonna try it again, so they really need to get this walled so they can shut it down. Just like one wall here, that would prevent him from running chance behind Blue's base. I got caught without any cap there. And I switched back to Gurkha because of the food problems I was previously talking. Oh no, I was still making sepoys, even at 10k food. Huh. It's towering very aggressively. Wait, Green needs mortars. You should always have a mortar out against Otto or Sibs that can tower FB aggressively. Like Otto, India, you should always have a mortar out against those kind of Sibs. See, with all these organ guns, the Corverin mass makes sense. Because you want to protect the organ guns, but without the organ guns, then massing corps against India makes no sense at all. I think they should be closer to his army. I think I could easily flank these organ guns with like tigers or something. Cougars. He's getting hustled over as Spain against Otto. Hustlers are good here. Hustlers are like generally a good unit to make against an India player that's going Gurkha. They're good to like tank against Mahouts, and if he doesn't have any Mahouts out, then you can like hit his Gurkhas or flank his siege elephants. If he's going Sepoy, then obviously you shouldn't make any Hustlers. Or very few, just to tank Mahouts, block them. And he's very persistent. Let's see what he does with this. Oh, he had 3 idle organs back there. That sucks for him. He's pushing up here. He's zapped. Yeah, those gens are gonna die, but look at all the pop he distracted from Basilici. That was definitely another successful jump. Like, Basilici had like 20 goons and some organ guns beating that shit down. So it was definitely successful from him. And I'm starting to push up as a result of that. Purple should like hit those embassies ASAP, and that would like pretty much like solidify his push. Because natives are very important units at both keeping and defending against melee pressure. Because usually natives will be a main source of melee infantry. If you can destroy the embassies, it makes it a lot easier to push. because then it makes it harder for your opponent to produce those melee infantry units. And yeah, he's mortaring the embassies right now. And he's again going to run back here with Jans, because they still haven't walled here yet. So he can pretty much do whatever he wants. Oh, wow. How did that happen? I guess there was a tiny little gap there, which he abused. And he, like, managed to get Jans behind the FB. Yeah, it's pretty much GG. Kudos to Purple for saving us from a long 2-hour game where we have to, like, slowly and painfully kill them and drain them out. And these petards, and they have no eco walls, so these petards are just gonna walk right to their factories. It's awesome. And they're gonna have to distract so much pop that we're both just gonna push up into their FBs and win. Yeah, and these petards are just gonna walk straight to their factories. And yeah, they had to distract a lot of pop, and it's still not gonna be enough because he's spreading out his Jans quite nicely here. Some running up there, some running here. Yeah, if you ever manage to get behind your opponent's walls and FB with Jans, you should like, and your opponent sends units to kill the Jans, you should like spread your Jans out as much as possible, so that it's harder for your opponent to chase them. Okay, cool. And yeah, this was relatively quick for a nr55 game. If Will96 had not done this, then we probably would have needed another half hour to drain out their ecos and kill them. And that's why I would not main nr55 as a game type, although I think it's occasionally fun to play if I have a lot of time on my hands, which I usually do. That said, I think 3v3 nr55s are just trash. Like, those tend to go for really long, and well, 3v3 nr55s are like only fun if you have good teammates. If you have like bad teammates, it's like impossible to carry or win a game, because they can just, it's so easy for them to just camp and double you and drain you out. Because if you think about it, the best way to carry a game is generally to try to push. And if you get doubled, then yeah, you can't really push. Anyway. 2v2 nr55s are only fun if it's like 2 crossings or 1 big crossing. 1v1 nr55s are pretty much the best. Or not go, but pretty much the best. I mean, like, barring ESOC Andes, I would say 1v1s on Orinoco are more fun than 1v1s on Andes, just because of the balance. Again, this is barring ESOC Andes, which is really good. Anyway. If India has a positive XP ratio against ports, doing something wrong. Unless the India player deleted like a ton of vills. And I deleted a few vills, but not a ton. Oh, and Basiliki was pretty much right down there with me in the 90s. I guess I did spend more on units than him, but a 7k difference, that definitely means India won.